Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about something I have actually received a couple messages and comments on other videos about, and it's about Meri from Sister Wives' most recent, well, I think it's her most recent Instagram post, where she talks about courage and bravery whilst giving a speech, it seems at like some sort of LulaRoe event. And you guys have a lot of thoughts, and y'all know I got a lot of thoughts, so we're gonna talk about it. So this is what Meri had to say, and it's a picture of her giving a speech. It looks like she's donning some LulaRoe, and she actually does tag Deanna from LulaRoe in this post, so I'm just assuming this is a LulaRoe event. So she has to say, a few weeks ago, I had the honor of standing on a stage and presenting my thoughts on a subject near and dear to my heart, a topic that I have and continue to work through and embrace. The topic is courage and bravery. Too often, we shy away from doing the brave thing that we need to do to advance and grow. I get it. It's super scary. That's why we have to call on our brave and our courage. If it wasn't scary, we wouldn't have to be brave. Bravery and courage are hard yet necessary to growth. We don't have to be perfect. That's not the point. The point is growth and getting better each time we face a challenge. Failing at something is not failure. Okay. Failing is just growth. Failing is courage. Failing is bravery. Take action, do the thing, that hard thing. It may feel messy and scary, but you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone and do the thing that encourages learning and growth. You can't just think your way to bravery. You need to take courageous action. Dale Carnegie says, inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Courage is contagious. Brene Brown says, the willingness to show up changes us. It makes us a little braver each time. When you push through and do the hard thing anyways, you kick off a cycle of bravery. The more you do the hard thing, the more confident you feel. Then the more likely you are to do it again, which only makes you a little more brave. Bravery unfolds one single situation at a time, but you have to actually embrace those situations for your bravery and courage to work its magic. Opportunities are going to come your way, and if they don't, go out and create them yourself, because each opportunity and act of bravery will open another door to another opportunity. You will survive your bravery. Welcome every failure, for this is what makes you grow. Celebrate each courageous action every single day because you are worth it. Thank you, person, for challenging me and believing me. And thank you, Deanna, for your belief in me and providing a venue to share my heart. Now, when I saw this and then received messages about it, I went back and reread it. And I have to regard this as probably one of the most disingenuous motivational speeches I've ever read. And it's because you have to consider the source. Based off of Meri's actions, or rather inactions, I would not characterize her necessarily as someone that is brave. Now, a lot of that is not Meri's fault if you take into consideration like how she was raised and just the years of being emotionally neglected and kind of beaten down in her marriage. So I don't just like villainize Meri automatically. I think there's a lot of factors that go into why she does the things she does. But with that being said, I don't characterize her as necessarily brave or courageous. And the first thing I want to kind of point out about this post is that she's giving this speech in the context of LulaRoe, not anything else. This is about LulaRoe. I think this is about ultimately recruiting more people who might be, maybe they're curious about joining LulaRoe, maybe they're on the fence, and she wants to reel them into her downline. That's the way I am reading this. So you have to take everything she says here with a huge grain of salt. In my opinion, when you make overtures like this in the hopes of recruiting people into your downline, to me, that's just point blank predatory. Calling on people to be financially irresponsible under the guise of bravery or courage is manipulative as fuck. And it makes it necessary, in my opinion, for all of these people, these content creators that put out, they do a lot of work. And I'll actually link some of my favorite anti-MLM channels that I've just kind of happened across over the years. But it makes it necessary for them to almost work twice as hard to combat this propaganda. Because when you have someone telling you how amazing your life can be if you just, throw caution to the wind and join their downline, and then you don't really take into consideration the fact that this literally will never happen for you. So it makes it necessary for people, in my opinion, that put out anti-MLM content to work twice as hard. And the reason being is that we all want to believe that we are the exception, not the rule. I love the movie He's Just Not That Into You. And that is one of the main themes of that movie, right? Is when you are the exception versus when you are the rule. The fact is that the majority of us have to be the rule in order for there to be exceptions to the rule. I'll link my video that I just made a week or so ago on the Mormon to MLM pipeline, and I talk about specifically lots of statistics about MLMs, and y'all, it's not good. It's not good. So be sure to check that out. Bravery and courage to me would also encompass accountability, because I think a lot of times it takes bravery and courage for us to take accountability for things. It's not always easy to do. And one of the things that I've been critical of Meri for over the last several years, ever since the catfish incident, is just her complete lack of accountability when it came to that situation.
About a year and a half ago, I was the target of a woman online who had created a couple of different personas to create a false relationship with me. It was a very manipulative, threatening situation.
Same person?
Same perpetrator?
Yes.
Yeah.
Meri has always treated the catfish incident like something that happened to her. And while I can sympathize that it does appear that this woman targeted her, like apparently this woman initially tried to go after Janelle, but Janelle wasn't interested. With all of that being said, Meri has just always lacked owning up to her part that she played in all of it. I think that if this Sam person really turned out to be the person in the pictures, Meri was totally going to run off with him. Something that Cody said, I think it was in the tell-all or one of his interviews, is that Meri was leaving his ass. I absolutely agree with that. I think she found this companionship, and I don't necessarily even blame her for that. She was emotionally neglected for years. So, I don't really fault her, but all of those reasons are not justifications. At the end of the day, Meri needs to, for her own growth and bravery and courage, she needs to own up to the part that she played in all of that. And then let's talk about courage and bravery when it comes to the whole look at the mountain conversation that she had with Christine at the end of season 15.
Just look at the mountain. I don't want to do it anymore. Don't talk about that. Just look at the mountain. That's what you saw that day. Don't go there. Just go with the mountain. It's not enough. Then make it enough. It's not. Then make it. You don't get to give up like that. Because you're not a quitter. Why is it quitting? Because it's quitting. You know where I am. You know where I have been. Yeah, but I want it. I don't feel like. Because you're hurting. And when you're hurting, you can't be real with your feelings. It means anymore. You need to feel whole. Then you're giving up if you're just hurting. Maybe it's not giving up. It's finally looking different. I don't believe that look different crap. I do not believe that.
This whole conversation drove me absolutely bananas. On the one hand, like I said before, I have sympathy for Meri. I think that she has struggled for a long time, probably going back to before even Mariah left the house. The fact that her fertility issues. She was different from the other wives in the amount of children she was producing. I think that she has struggled for a long time to find her place in this family. But her trying to convince Christine to accept this kind of contentious relationship dynamic with Cody is just really messed up. Christine did the brave thing, the hard thing, the courageous thing by leaving. And it's not even like Cody has settled into an affectionate but non-romantic relationship a la his relationship with Janelle. With Meri and Christine, he seems to hold a lot of resentment and ire for both of them, and it makes even coexisting in this family difficult for him and for them. He seems to be very actively bothered by both Christine and Meri, and he all but says that he wishes Meri would leave. I mean, now that Christine has left, he said in the one-on-one tele, like, I can't leave them, I can't divorce them, but they can leave. Almost like, don't let the door hit you on the way out type of thing. If living your why simply just consisted of you selling these clothes to your followers, fine, whatever, do you. But could you imagine if you went to like Subway to buy a sandwich and the cashier tried to convince you to sign up for a franchise as you were checking out? Like, what? And like I said in that last video I made on MLMs, we are never going to be Meri. We are never going to have almost 1 million followers. We are never going to be able to sell to people that aren't our immediate friends, families, and coworkers. Most of us, that's our circle. That's our reality. And the reality is that most people will never be successful in this type of business model. So I just found this really almost gross because it's completely disingenuous based off of just who Meri is. Her personality, her life that she lives does not necessarily scream brave or courageous to me. Now, that's not an automatic dig on Meri. I think a lot of that has to do with the years of this marriage and relationship that she has been in. I put a lot of blame on Cody for that. Also, the way she grew up. This is totally the culture of the way she grew up. However, reasons are not justifications. It seems that Christine is breaking the cycle and getting out of this toxic relationship, and I think that that is incredibly brave. But bravery to me is not preying on your followers to sell them really questionably fashionable clothes and trying to get them to sign up to fill your pockets with money. That just isn't bravery to me. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.